Hello Scouts, good morning. Senior Scout John Paul Bombasa gonna teach you guys how to tie the basic knots we use in scouting. Scouts, are you ready? This knot is so simple. Now let's proceed in overhand knot. Step 1. Cross the end of the top of the rope over the top remaining rope making a Q shape. Step number 2. Tuck the end of the rope or the tail of the Q up through the loop from behind. And step number 3. Pull the rope at both ends to tie. Trivia time. Did you know the rope overhand knot used to keep a rope from slipping out of a hole through it which has been threaded? The next is figure 8 knot. Step 1. Cross the end of the rope over the top of remaining rope making a Q shape. Step number 2. Pinch the rope and twist around the way from the tail of Q. Step number 3. Tuck the end of the rope or the tail of Q up through the loop from behind. And lastly, pull the rope at both ends to tie forming a figure 8. Another trivia. The figure B is the basis for several more complicated rock tying knots. Now, let's proceed to the third knot. The third knot is bowline knot. So what is bowline? It is a loop knot primarily used in boating but also in the outdoors and around the house. The bowline is great for forming a fixed loop at the end of the line quickly. Step number 1. Cross the end of the rope over the top of the remaining rope making a Q shape. Step number 2. Pass the short portion of the end of the rope or the tail of the Q through the loop from behind and back at the remaining rope threaded closed leaving. Step number 3. Pass the short portion of the rope around the back of the remaining rope. Step number 4. Bring the short portion of the rope back up and once again pass through the small initial Q, this time in front. And lastly, pinch to close and pull the end of the rope to secure your bowline. Another trivia. The bowline is also called the king of knot. A version exists in every seafaring culture. Our fourth knot is clove hitch. So what's the purpose of clove hitch knot in scouting? It is used to secure a line to a pole and to start or end a variety of lashings. So, step number 1. Hang rope from the support. Step number 2. Loop around the support with the end. And step number 3. Pass it from behind the rope. And step number 4. Pull to tighten. And now, the knot is complete. And last but not the least is fisherman's knot. In this knot, we need to use 2 ropes. Step number 1. Make a loop with the first rope and fit the end into it. Step number 2. Make another loop with the second rope and tuck the end into it. Step number 3. Tighten the 2 individual knots by their tag ends. Step number 4. Pull the standing parts to draw the knots close together. And step number 5. Finish the knot by pulling the remaining rope. And for our last trivia, did you know that the knot is originated when sailors drew knotted lines to measure the speed of their vessels? And that's all, Scouts. Hope you understand and learn something today. Happy scouting, everyone. God bless us all.